excellence and a catalyst for socio-economic development. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is now my singular honor and privilege to invite our esteemed guest lecturer, Professor Olayinka Adenikiju, FCA, to deliver today's public lecture. Thank you for your presence, your support, and your commitment to the accounting profession. God bless the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria. God bless Oyo State. God bless ICAN, Lagelu and District Society. God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you. All right. Hello? All right. There's going to be a slight change in the order of program because one of our elder who graciously attended this occasion has another event. So before the guest lecturer comes on board, I want to welcome him to give us his goodwill message. Thank you.
The chairman of Lagelu and the Society of ICAN, Elder Patterson, Ariemuduigho FC, the guest lecturer, who happens to be a very close friend of mine, Professor Olayinka Adenikiju FC, who also happened to be an executive director of MFP Global. My very good friend, Elder Marcus Akobi FC, partners of fame here present, the single colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I'm happy to be here, not as a guest, but as one of you and as the father of Lagelu and the society. I want to congratulate you for what you are doing in Lagelu. You are doing extremely very well. I've witnessed so many investiture programs, and I can say it without any iota of doubt and any fear of contradiction that this one is very unique and outstanding. I don't believe much in social. When you are having investiture, you should also have public lecture. Because no nation can develop beyond the knowledge of the citizen. So, and when you are having public lecture like this, you are imparting the society. You are imparting individuals. People who are not here will also read it or listen to it. So, I want to congratulate you. And also for the press conference you had. It was fantastic. So I wish you the very best. On behalf of my colleagues in the body of past chairman of Ibadan this Society of ICAN, which happens to be your mother this society, I want to tell you that we are proud and we are proud of you. And one thing you have also been doing that is quite amazing is the way you publicize your programs. You publicize your programs in the order of MFP. You know, when we had the meeting with the leadership of ICAN, they commended us, particularly our publicity, aspect. And that is what we are replicating in Lagelu here. It's not, the same manner in other society. So please keep it up and let your programs, when you have programs like this, let it be widely reported. And you must also have, the proceedings also reported in the papers and in the social media. So I wish you the very best. I'm confident that my friend Yinka will do the needful. He will give you a thought-provoking paper. Thank you and God bless you.
Thank you, sirs. Without much ado, we'll go straight to the citation of our guest lecturer for today. Media, please. Can we have the citation?
College of Management and Social Sciences at Howard University, with decades of intersecting experience in academia and corporate practice. Professor Adeleke embodies the perfect bridge between the classroom and the boardroom. Professor Adeleke boasts an elite academic pedigree. She obtained a Bachelor of Science (BSc) and a Doctor of Philosophy (PhD) in Economics from Nigeria's premier institution, the University of Ibadan. Expanding her horizon globally, she earned a Master of Science (MSc) in Project Analysis, Finance, and Investment from the University of York, United Kingdom. Beyond her academic achievements, she has attained the highest professional echelons in her field. Fellow FC Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria, Associate Member, SCTI, Chartered Institute of Taxation of Nigeria, Life Member, Nigerian Economic Society. Enemies, Member, International Association of Energy Economics, IAEA. At Bowen University, Professor Adeleke is an active driver of institutional quality and research development. She currently serves in vital leadership capacities, including Chair, College Quality Assurance Committee, Chair, College Welfare Committee, Chair, Sustainable Development Goal 5, SDG 5, Gender Equality Research.
Financial economics, economic development, and market systems. She has performed and co-authored foundational works in macroeconomics. In January 2024, she delivered the landmark 11th inaugural lecture of Bowen University titled Act of God or Looking Inward, unraveling the drivers of corporate performance in Nigeria. Inward-looking economic frameworks to industries. She also lends her expertise as an adjunct lecturer at the Center for Petroleum, Energy Economies and Law, CPIL, University of Ibadan. Outside the lecture course, she shapes business strategy as the managing partner of Equilibra Consulting Limited. Our commitment to driving financial literacy, corporate performance, and macro entrepreneurship marks her an influential voice in the organized private sector.
Professor
Professor Adenikinjo is happily married to Professor Adiola Adenikinjo, a renowned energy economist and president of the Nigerian Economic Society. Together, they are dedicated pillars of community development, education advocacy, and mentorship for young professionals. Join me in welcoming Professor
Chairman of Council of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria, Hajia Segosime, the Chairman of the and present, Prince Bade Oyedepo, who just stepped out, the distinguished fellows, members and students of the accounting profession, members of ICAN, the invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, press, good afternoon. I felt very happy and privileged to have been invited to give this public lecture today. Elder Patterson mentioned to me that, normally every investiture, while the investiture is going on, a lecture is done. But he said that this one will be different. And I'm glad that Prince Badi also mentioned it, that this is it's a good one. It's different from what we have been having before. Lagelu and district is a trailblazer. We are leading, others are following. And so congratulations, our chairman and all the other executive members. It is both a privilege and an honor to be invited to deliver this public lecture at this important investiture lecture ceremony and the subsequent swearing in of the executive committee on Saturday. Let me congratulate the newly elected chairman and the executives and all those assuming leadership positions this weekend. Leadership in any profession is a sacred trust, but in accounting, it carries an even greater responsibility because society depends on accountants to safeguard integrity, inspire confidence, and provide reliable information upon which countless decisions are made. This week, we invest a new chairman, and it is right that we pause to ask what our profession owes the country that we serve. In fact, as I was preparing for this, what came to my mind is we are reminding ourselves of our role as accountants. What do we stand for in the society today? That's really what we want to talk about, especially in an economy where prices have been changing, which is where you have the turbulent times that is in the topic. An investiture is a ceremony, but it's also the renewal of a promise. And that promise is written into the motto of our institute, accuracy and integrity. In every turbulent economy, the first casualty is confidence. Prices rise faster than wages. Exchange rates move faster than business plans. Public debt narrows the room governments have to act. Citizens begin to ask whether institutions can still be trusted. At such moments, accounting must be understood as more than bookkeeping, compliance, or the preparation of annual reports. Accounting is a compass. It does not remove the storm, but it tells the navigator where the economy truly stands, where resources are leaking, which risks are hidden, and which decisions are sustainable. Our duty in turbulent times is to convert uncertainty into reliable information and reliable information into accountability and confidence. The topic before us this afternoon is accounting, the compass for economic navigation in turbulent times. This topic is both timely and profound. History teaches us that periods of economic turbulence are not exceptions. They are recurring features of economic life. Today, the global economy faces multiple storms simultaneously. We all know what's happening, in various parts of the world. Nations are grappling with inflation, exchange rate volatility, geopolitical conflicts, debt crisis, climate change, disruptive technologies, cyber risks, and growing uncertainty in global trade. Nigeria is no exception. Over the past few years, our economy has undergone major structural reforms, including fuel subsidy removal, exchange rate liberalization, fiscal reforms, and efforts to diversify economic activities. While these reforms are necessary for long-term sustainability, they have also brought significant short-term adjustments for businesses, households, and governments. In such uncertain times, organizations require more than optimism. They require direction. They require reliable information. They require accountability. Above all, they require accounting. Just as sailors rely on a compass during storms, when visibility is poor, economies rely on accounting to provide direction when uncertainty clouds judgment. Accounting, therefore, is not merely about recording transactions. It is the compass that guides economic decision making. So why does this compass matter? Imagine a ship sailing across a turbulent ocean. Powerful engines are important. An experienced captain is also very important. A skilled crew is important. But without a compass, even the strongest ship may lose direction. Similarly, economic policies, business strategies, investment decisions, and development programs can fail if they are not guided by accurate financial information. Accounting firms, accounting performs three essential functions in this regard. First, it measures economic reality. Second, it communicates that reality. And third, it supports informed decision making. Without credible accounting information, governments cannot plan effectively, businesses cannot allocate resources efficiently, investors cannot assess risks, and citizens cannot hold leaders accountable. Accounting as the language of economic decision making. Economists often describe accounting as the language of business. I would go further. Accounting is the language of economic civilization. Every budget prepared, every investment evaluated, every tax assessed, every public project monitored, every company valued, every loan approved, every pension protected, every audit conducted, all depend fundamentally on accounting information. When this language becomes distorted, economic decisions become flawed. The collapse of major corporations around the world, from Enron to Wirecard, was not caused by lack of technology or market opportunities. It resulted largely from failures in accounting integrity and corporate governance. The lesson is simple. Should I move to that? Okay. It resulted largely from failures in accounting, integrity, and corporate governance. The lesson is simple. Economic prosperity cannot exist for long without trustworthy accounting. Dr. Fatai Atonda emphasized this yesterday at the faculty lecture organized by the Faculty of Economics and Management Sciences, University of Ibadan. I don't know whether if Dr. Atonda is here this afternoon. Nevertheless, I was able to join his lecture yesterday and I listened with passion. I'm going to read out to you, what he discussed about, which I thought is also useful for our discussion this afternoon. I attended the lecture. I attended the lecture online. The topic of that faculty lecture is the quality of accounting information and corporate failure. Has the accounting profession, in bracket, not, bracket quotes, failed us? So has accounting failed us, or has accounting not failed us in this era of corporate failure? He concluded in his lecture, and I'm going to quote him verbatim as I got it from the lecture notes. While accounting information is very useful for decision making, users are often confronted with low quality information caused by a series of challenges that range from window dressing of financial statements, earnings management, and accounting manipulations, creative accounting, weak internal control over financial reporting, ethical lapses and misconduct, and weak enforcement of regulations and standards. Widespread research has shown that the quality of accounting information influences corporate distress, with a broader concern raised that accounting information can present a misleading picture of corporate sustainability when managerial discretion and opportunistic reporting dominate. However, corporate failure is rarely sudden. It usually occurs due to some compromises, overlooked signals, and ethical lapses over time. Corporations also failed as a result of poor corporate governance, financial mismanagement, economic and market conditions, strategic mismanagement, such as failure to respond or inappropriate response to environmental changes, leadership failure, operational inefficiencies, and failure to innovate. Atanda 2026 further opined that though, despite not being solely responsible for corporate failures, some accounting practices contribute significantly to such situations. This is why regulators have been tightening rules after some scandals. So we can talk about the Sarbanes-Oxley Act, SOX of 2002, stricter auditor independence, as we see in IFRS 9, IFRS 15, and IFRS 16. This means that the accounting profession is progressing and will continue to serve as the thermometer, but not the cure to the sickness. It will continue to measure, but cannot stop bad management or fraud by itself. So corporate failure will not occur when people continue, so corporate failure will still occur when people continue to play games with the system. Atonda concluded that accounting information has not failed, since high-quality accounting information helps in the reduction of corporate failure, while governance, ethics enforcement, oversight function, and management decision-making are strong. I told you the topic of his work was that has accounting failed us? If we can talk of so many companies failing, does it mean that accounting has failed? His conclusion was that accounting has not actually failed us. And I believe that you all agree with me. This is what we have been trained over the years to know, especially if we obey rules of corporate governance, ethics enforcement, and oversight functions. So to come back to our topic, let's consider navigating Nigeria's economic challenges. Nigeria today faces several economic realities. Inflation continues to challenge purchasing power. Exchange rate fluctuations affect business planning. Public debt requires prudent fiscal management. Oil revenue remains volatile. Infrastructure financing remains inadequate. Youth unemployment remains high. Private investment requires great confidence. Addressing these challenges demands evidence-based decision-making. And evidence begins with quality accounting information. So this is where we come in. Requires accurate revenue forecasts. Tax reforms require transparent financial reporting. Infrastructure projects require cost control. Public sector requires sustainability analysis. Social intervention programs require effective monitoring. Each of these depends fundamentally on accountants. In the past 3 years, Nigeria removed the fuel subsidy, unified the foreign exchange windows, ended deficit monetization, and watched the naira lose most of its official value, before finding a new footing. Inflation climbed over 30% in 2024, the highest in a generation, before easing steadily through 2025. So we are glad that at least since last year, those figures have begun to come down. The results are real. In its 2026 Article 4, concluded in June, the International Monetary Fund, IMF, found that the reforms have improved macroeconomic outcomes and built resilience, with gross reserves rising from $40 billion at the end of 2024 to $46 billion in 2025. The Naira appreciating 10% year on year by March and growing projected at 4.1% this year. Yet the same report tells a harder truth. Poverty has reached 63% under the national poverty line, and an estimated 27 million Nigerians faced food insecurity in late 2025. Inflation, after falling for a year, nudged back up to 15.4% in March as global fuel and food prices rose. Good accounting forces us to hold both truths at once. Headline stability and household hardship are different measures of the same economy. So on one hand, we are seeing, yes, the foreign reserves, has gone up, but nevertheless, a large chunk of the economy is still below the poverty line. And it is our job to keep that distinction visible rather than let it blur into one convenient story. It is useful to note that every one of these reforms has as its core an accounting decision. Subsidy removal confronted the true cost of a policy carried off the books of public understanding for decades. Exchange rate unification allowed one honest price replace several convenient ones. The rebasing of GDP and the Consumer Price Index by the National Bureau of Statistics was a national exercise in measurement integrity. In each case, Nigeria chose harder, truer numbers over easier, flattering ones. That is painful in the short term. It is also the only foundation for a durable recovery, because a country cannot steer by its numbers it does not believe. So what sound accounting does in a crisis as we are facing now? Why do numbers matter more than when everything else is moving? This is because turbulence destroys the shortcuts that calm times allow. In a stable year, last year's plan is a decent guide to this year, as we normally do when we are budgeting. In a volatile one, a price that was profitable in January is a loss by June. So three functions of our discipline become matters of survival. First, sound accounting separates nominal growth from real performance. A company may report rising revenue simply because prices rose, while margins, cash flow, and purchasing power quietly deteriorate underneath. A government may announce a larger budget, but without cost measurement and value for money analysis, citizens cannot know whether the extra spending is building roads and hospitals or merely keeping pace with inflation. Second, it makes hidden exposure visible. The Naira now floats, and the IMF has urged that this flexibility continue to act as a shock absorber. But a floating currency tests every balance sheet it touches. That is, things like the imported inputs, foreign currency loans, supplier contracts, external debt service, etc. Transparent recognition of exchange gains and losses and honest reporting of contingent obligations are what stop a manager or a minister from making temporarily liquidity for solvency. Third, our discipline, our profession, it shows discipline. It disciplines decisions. Leaders in a crisis must cut costs, raise prices, or abandon projects, and that very quickly. Current books, rolling cash forecasts, and scenario plans give those decisions a floor of evidence. In uncertainty, cash is a fact, and profit is just an opinion. Because when they're telling you, oh, they've made so and so, if it does not translate to money in your pocket, it's just an opinion. Stewardship and the public purse. Nowhere is it more urgent than in public finance. The IMF has called for faster reforms of Nigeria's budget process, fiscal reporting, and risk framework, citing concerns about off-budget spending and complex financing instruments. And it rates the risk of sovereign stress as moderate, while warning that weak revenue mobilization and contingent liabilities could raise it. Behind each of these findings sits an accounting question. What does our borrowing truly cost? What obligations sit outside the budget perimeter? And who is accounting for them? Our institute's own study texts define public sector accounting around one area: stewardship over the receipt, custody, and disbursement of public funds. That word carries the whole argument. Public money is not ownerless money. It is money held in trust. This is why the IPSAS adoption, the Treasury single account, GIFMIS, procurement controls, and audit follow-up matter far beyond the technical circles that discuss them. They are the practical conditions for trust between governments and citizens. The most consequential development on this front is the tax reform that took effect this January 2026. The four acts signed in June 2025, that is the Nigerian Tax Act, the Nigerian Tax Administration Act, the Nigerian Revenue Service Act, and the Joint Revenue Board Act, consolidates the major federal tax laws into a unified regime, transform the FIRS into the Nigerian Revenue Service, and introduce digital enforcement through an electronic fiscal system. It is the largest overhaul of Nigeria's tax framework in decades. But legislation only sets the frame. Implementation will run through accountants, registering taxpayers, updating systems, advising small and medium scale enterprises through the transition guidelines, and ensuring that what is collected is honestly reported and is well spent. The success of this reform is in part an assignment handed to this profession. It is handed to us as accountants. So what happens when the compass breaks? You know, the compass we said is supposed to be a guide telling us the way to go. The strongest evidence for the value of our work is what happens when the compass fails. The world supplies the famous cases. We remember the Enron collapsed in 2001 after years of inflating revenue and hiding debt in structures built to keep liabilities off the balance sheet. WorldCom capitalized ordinary expenses and misstated revenue until the fiction could no longer hold. Lehman Brothers fell in 2008 amid risk-taking its own governance, never seriously challenged. And the OECD's post-crisis analysis found the same weakness across the system: poor risk disclosure, risk management subordinated to profit centers, and boards too weak to ask hard questions. Unless we think such failures belong to the past, Wirecard, one of Germany's most accelerated technology companies, collapsed in year 2020 when auditors finally conceded that 1.9 billion euros supposedly held in trust accounts did not exist. 2 decades of reform after Enron, and a listed company still vanished on a fiction. It seems unbelievable. Nigeria has its own chapters. The Cadbury Nigeria scandal of 2006 revealed years of overstated results and shook confidence in our capital markets. The 2009 banking crisis exposed lenders whose published accounts concealed the true scale of bad loans at heavy cost to the nation. Across every case, one pattern repeats. The problem was never that records were absent. The problem was that the records did not reflect reality. Through fraud, wishful thinking, or a failure of nerve to challenge convenient numbers. The lesson that matters most for us is this: standards alone prevented none of it. Enron had auditors. Wirecard had clean opinions. Lehman Brothers had rules. Rules do not produce trust. What produces trust is competence, independence, professional skepticism, and timely disclosure, applied by people with the courage to say when the numbers are wrong, that someone must be us. It must be me, it must be you. So, what has this profession already given us? It would be wrong in a week of celebration, that is of the investiture, to speak only of risk. Since its founding by Act of Parliament in 1965, the Chartered Institute of Accountants of Nigeria has produced the professionals who carried Nigeria through IFRS adoption in 2012, the migration of IPSAS in the public sector, the rollout of the Treasury single account, and the special examinations that brought the 2009 banking problems into the open in the first place. When Nigeria has chosen truer members, chartered accountants did the work. That record is worth honoring, and it is the standard the next generation must exceed. They will exceed it on two frontiers. The first is digital. Artificial intelligence, data analytics, e-invoicing, and automated audit trails are changing how financial information is produced and verified. And the accountant of the next decade must interrogate systems, not just ledgers, data controls, cybersecurity risk, and the integrity of automated reporting. Machines will process the transactions. The judgment about whether the output tells the truth remains ours as accountants. The second is sustainability. The Financial Reporting Council's roadmap for the IFRS Sustainability Disclosure Standards sets early adoption of IFRS S1 and S2 now. Mandatory application for applicable private entities from 2028 and SMEs from 2030. Risks that are not measured will be mispriced, and mispriced risks misallocate a nation's resources. It's telling us that we need to do better. So what is the expanding role of accountants? Today's accountant is no longer simply a bookkeeper. The modern accountant is a strategic advisor. He is a risk manager, a governance expert, a technology professional, a sustainability advisor, a forensic investigator, a policy analyst. Increasingly, accountants participate in boardroom decisions rather than merely reporting on them after implementation. The profession has evolved from historical reporting to strategic forecasting, from compliance to value creation, from financial stewardship to organizational leadership. This transformation demands continuous learning. Professional competence is no longer optional, it is essential. Technology and the future of accounting. Artificial intelligence, blockchain, cloud computing, machine learning, big data analytics, and robotic process automation are transforming accounting practice. Routine bookkeeping tasks are increasingly automated. However, technology cannot replace professional judgment. Algorithms cannot replace integrity. Artificial intelligence cannot replace ethical responsibility. The accountant of tomorrow must combine technical competence with digital literacy. Future accountants must understand data analytics, cybersecurity, environmental reporting, predictive modeling, integrated reporting, digital auditing. Technology should empower accountants and not replace them. Ethics, the true north of the compass. Every compass has a true north. For accounting, that true north is integrity. Without ethics, accounting loses its credibility. Without credibility, markets lose confidence. Without confidence, investment declines. Without investment, economic growth suffers. Integrity, therefore, is not simply a moral virtue, it is an economic asset. Professional accountants must remain independent even under pressure. They must resist manipulation of financial statements. They must protect the public interest above personal gain. Every signature and audit report represents a public trust. Every financial statement affects livelihoods. Every accounting decision influences economic confidence. This is why ethics must remain the heartbeat of the profession. Public sector accountability. Accounting is equally important in government. Citizens pay taxes with the expectation that public resources will be managed responsibly. Transparent accounting strengthens democracy. It reduces corruption. It improves service delivery. It enhances investor confidence. It promotes fiscal discipline. Governments that embrace international public sector accounting standards generally enjoy better transparency and improved financial management. Nigeria has made important progress in public financial management reforms, yet much remains to be done. The accounting profession must continue supporting transparency at all levels of government. I remember some years ago, I went to see, you know, somebody who is, she's in the buying and selling business. And she was telling me that, okay, I was then doing some work with the Society for Women in Taxation, and we were working on a journal for the society. And we went to interview this mama and also the chairman of the Board of Internal Revenue. And the mama told us that, yes, you say we should pay taxes. We should, yes, I agree with you, we must pay taxes. That when she travels to see her children, she see how much you pay tax for everything under the sun. You even pay tax for you as a person. You pay tax for using your television. You pay tax for everything. But that they can see what their taxes are being used for. So if we are advocating that taxes should be paid, we should encourage people, then we must be able to see what those taxes are being used for. Sustainability accounting. The world is changing. Investors increasingly ask not only how much profits companies make, but how these profits are generated. Environmental responsibility is one of the concerns. Yesterday also, in the morning, I attended ICAN organized a free seminar discussing the issue of sustainability accounting and why we should avoid greenwashing. You know, we're trying to explain that, you know, in your annual reports, yes, everybody is concerned about the environment. See that all that's happening now, the floods and things that are taking place, is because we have ignored our environment. The ozone layer has been depleted and so on and so forth. And that is important for us as accountants also to begin to, talk about sustainability accounting. The greenwashing thing is saying that, okay, in your financial statements, as a responsible organization, as a responsible company, you want to say that, yes, you take into consideration issues relating to the environment. The chairman, CEO, puts it in the first page in the annual report. But then you look through the financial statements and you can't see any figures telling you how they have taken care of that environment. There's nothing that tells you that, okay, I had a student who worked on something in this area. And one of the things that she looked out for in the financial reports of quoted companies is the chairman, MD CEO's report. You know, every CEO wants to say something good about during my time, this last year, we did this, we did this, we did this. So the things that we were looking out for in the financial statement to corroborate what the CEO is saying is that, do we see anything in the financial statement that says that we have changed our type of source of energy, for example, moving from those generators that give a lot of emissions to something that is more sustainable, to something that is more green, more environmentally friendly. So greenwashing is saying that MD CEO says in his report, this year we did ABC, but you can't find anything in the accounts that shows you that they have done anything with regards to the environment. Sustainability accounting also talks about social impact, talks about corporate governance, climate disclosures, carbon accounting. These have become mainstream business issues. Accounting is expanding beyond financial capital to include natural, human, and social capital. The accountant of the future must therefore understand sustainability reporting alongside financial reporting. Economic resilience depends upon sustainable development. Accounting and national development. Every successful economy is built upon strong institutions. Strong institutions require reliable financial systems. Reliable financial systems require competent accountants. Countries that maintain transparent accounting standards attract more investment. They enjoy lower borrowing costs, higher productivity, greater economic stability, etc. Accounting, therefore, contributes directly to national competitiveness. It supports economic planning, capital market development, banking stability, revenue mobilization, business confidence, and inclusive growth. So, what are the lessons from the recent economic reforms that Nigeria has been through? Nigeria's ongoing reforms demonstrate why accounting matters. Fuel subsidy reforms require transparent fiscal accounting. Exchange rate reforms require improved financial risk management. Tax reforms require accurate financial reporting. Debt management requires reliable government accounting. Private sector reforms require stronger corporate governance. Without credible accounting systems, reform outcomes become difficult to evaluate. Good accounting allows policymakers to distinguish between temporary adjustment costs and long-term economic gains. It helps separate facts from assumptions, evidence from speculation, reality from politics. I have a few words of advice to our young professionals, and I'm glad that there are many people in this room that are quite young. Permit me to speak briefly to our young accountants. Your qualification is not merely a certificate, it is a license to build trust. Never compromise your integrity. Invest continuously in learning. Master emerging technologies. Develop communication skills. Understand economics. Understand finance. Understand public policy. Become solution providers rather than record keepers only. Remember that your greatest professional asset is not your technical knowledge, it is your reputation. A reputation built over decades can be destroyed in a single unethical decision. Guard it carefully. Next, I have a call to professional leadership. Professional bodies must continue strengthening ethical standards, updating professional education, supporting digital transformation, encouraging research, collaborating with governments, promoting public financial literacy, building capacity among small businesses, supporting sustainability reporting. The accounting profession should remain one of Nigeria's strongest voices for transparency, accountability, and responsible governance. A charge to our new chairman. A district chairman inherits a platform at exactly the level where the profession touches real life. You are taking office at a moment when the nation needs its accountants more than it knows. May your tenure be marked by the two words that define us all: accuracy and integrity. 4 practical commitments can help to make this tenure count. And I know some of this we're already doing in our district society. Number 1, run a continuing professional development series on the new tax regime so that every member can guide clients and employers through implementation with confidence. 2, open an SME clinic offering basic bookkeeping and compliance support to small businesses in this district, because the enterprises that employ most Nigerians live or die by whether a lender believes their numbers. 3, pair experienced numbers with trainees and young graduates in a structured mentoring scheme so that technical skill and moral courage are passed on together. 4, stand visibly behind members who raise uncomfortable findings, because every accountant who declines to sign a misleading account protects savers, workers, and taxpayers who will never even know their name. In conclusion, Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, the world will continue to experience uncertainty, as we have been seeing. Economic turbulence will not disappear. Markets will continue to fluctuate. Technologies will continue to evolve, policies will change, but one principle remains constant. Reliable information produces better decisions. Better decisions create stronger institutions. Stronger institutions build stronger economies. Accounting, therefore, remains far more than a profession. It is a public good. It is a foundation of economic development. It is the compass that keeps governments, businesses, investors, and societies on course. As we celebrate this week's investiture, let us remember that leadership in accounting is ultimately leadership in nation building. May every accountant continue to uphold May every accountant continue to uphold the highest standards of competence, integrity, transparency, and service. If we remain faithful to these principles, then regardless of the storms ahead, accounting will continue to provide the compass that guides our economy safely towards prosperity, resilience, and sustainable development. The image of the compass endures because a compass does not shout, it does not flatter, neither does it panic. It simply points to true north. Nigeria's journey will continue to face inflationary pressure, fiscal constraints, currency uncertainty, and global volatility. Accounting will not calm every storm, but without it, we may not even know where the storm has taken us. With integrity as our true north, this country can chart a steadier course towards resilience, accountability, and shared prosperity. I congratulate the newly invested, or those who will be invested even on Saturday. Leaders, I congratulate you once again and wish the Institute continued growth and greater relevance in advancing Nigeria's economic development. Congratulations. Thank you for your kind attention. God bless the accounting profession. God bless the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria. God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you.
Go ahead and give it up for our own Professor Olayinka Adenikiju, FCA. I think you can do more. Give it up for her. Fantastic. Thank you so much, Ma, for that wonderful delivery. At this juncture, if you have questions, so we'd like to field questions at this point. So if you have questions on that well-detailed lecture, please come on. Step up. Let's have your question. Let's have your question. Number one.
Thank you very much, sir. A very big congratulations to our paper presenter, Professor Olayinka Adenikiju, FCA, for that well-delivered and well-presented paper. More grace unto you, ma. Standing on the existing protocol, my name is Moses Ogundele, FCA. Here's my question. I'm taking from some of your words, compass, sustainability. Bringing this into practice, especially into the auditing profession. We are talking about accounting as a compass. So before you are an auditor, you are first an accountant. Okay. Now, my question is, we are talking about sustainable reporting. As an auditor or coming into the auditing profession, how do we strike a balance between auditors having every reason to give a qualified audit report based on the information available at his disposal, and the management desiring an unqualified audit report? Bearing in mind that if the auditor refuses to bend to the desire of the management, by law, according to CAMA 2020, Section 401, the auditor can only stay in office just for 1 year, from the beginning of one AGM to the conclusion of the next AGM. So all your power, all your whatever only lasts you 1 year. The directors can refuse, or the directors can influence the shareholders, especially for small and medium companies, refuse to give you another term of office. Okay, so how do we strike that balance? So this is bringing a case of theory versus reality. How do we strike a balance between integrity, sustainable reporting, and faithful reporting without losing clients and going hungry in the face of competition and unfaithful business leaders? Thank you, ma.
All right, thank you very much. Our guest speaker has magnanimously nominated me to answer that question. And so, thank you for your question, our dear Moses. You see, you have a responsibility, and your responsibility is to the profession, is to your certificate. So anything that will go against you and that certificate, avoid it. We know the stomach want to eat. We know that. We know that there is undue pressure to do that which is unethical. She spoke so much on unethical practices. So if you know that at the end of the day, ICAN will take you to a disciplinary committee for investigation, and at the end of the day, your certificate may be weighted, please avoid it. All that glitter is not good. A good name is better than. So please, we know that things are difficult, and we in practice, we face it. The question is a very, very germane question that we face in practice. It's glaring, but you weigh the consequences. And then by the time you come out and educate the client, please, even for your own sake, the sake of the organization, reputation, you try to let them know the implication of what they're asking you to do. If they say no, that you must go ahead and give a clean report, and it's not right, please state it in your opinion. Say for so and so reason, I'm not able to do that. The worst is they ask you to go. And I'm telling you, there are people, we have seen it, I'm in practice, where we have been say, okay, go. But you may discover that some of them that even were dead then, they are the ones that will now say, oh, these people stand for integrity. Let's appoint them. You have lost a job today. Tomorrow, that may open other doors for you. Thank you. I have my guy here. I have two partners in my support here. We are in practice. Mr. Kobe is here. Mrs. Ariemuduigho, also a partner in Bekatilish, is here. So I don't know whether you have anything you want to answer.
Thank you, Professor Olayinka. An engagement, because we discovered that's going to tarnish our reputation and integrity. They had given us part payment of our fee. We had to return the money, and we said we refused that engagement. So that is the height you can get to. There are safeguards where there are issues that you can explore. But if you discover that at the end of the day, your reputation is at stake, please, for the sake of your certificate, like the chairman said, because you are going to, those who claim they want clean report today, if they discover you stand your ground, we come back tomorrow to say, yes, we are getting you back because we discovered that they are on wrong path. And you see, accountancy is gone beyond what we used to do. Now, apart from the apart from ICAN, you have FRC, Financial Reporting Council. And if you, by any chance, you are scrutinized by FRC, every infringement is a cost, not only to the company, to you as the auditor, if you are a team leader, to the team leader, to the partner who signs, to the company, that's your firm, and also to the company. The directors, you have seen sanctions. Some of them are not published in Nigeria, but abroad you see sanctions coming to partners. Some will be sanctioned that they should not sign any account or practice for a period of 6 years. And so what will you be taking? That means nobody will be able to engage you as an individual. Nobody will be able to engage you. So which means, so it boils down to integrity. And I'm in practice and I know, but I have a principle. One is that you cannot continue to be in business and say you are making losses. I don't know whether I'm saying something, but because you will discover, for how long will you be able to sustain your losses?
Now,
And you will still be in business. So this boils down to you now going down to begin to ask some germane questions. There are questions that you need to ask to begin to see what are the issues that have been coming up. And that is why all this, what the standard is asking us to do, the standards are there to guide us. When you really work on the standard, you discover the flaws that are even in account in the papers presented to you will be very obvious, and you can discover them. So I want to say, for the sake of your reputation and your name and your certificates, well, now I think maybe it's easier to get ICAN certificate than before. So, but don't ever trade it for anything. Thank you very much.
Do we have online questions? Guys, do you have online questions? No, not yet. So let's take numbers so that we can log the questions together. Number 1, number 2, 3. Not from that side. 3. Okay, I'll give to chairman first. Chairman, ask a question.
I hope you will know, sir, I should answer this question. Thank you very much for the paper. Honestly, it came at the right time, and you have dished it out to us. We appreciate you, and that is why we are proud of you. The icon in you is what is making the difference, and not the professor. Thank you very much. So, on that note, I want to, you see, like the compass, somebody developed it. It's the pilot that use it to navigate a direction to go. We, the accountants, like you said, the cases you cited, Aaron, Cabri, there were accountants that were there. Even in the case of Tony Ani, our former Minister of Finance, who was I think ICAN president at the time, on council member, late the late minister under Abacha. With all the fraud that happened that we have accountants. And the question is, people continue to ask auditors, accountants, were you not there? But my question is, like you said now, the tax law has come to place. Many a times we in practice, you go for tax audit, there are established liabilities. The next thing, those who implement it are the ones that are get to decide. You, the accountant, you are finished your work. And then they will say, okay, let's share it. They go with the lion part, and then the government take part, and that is what you see. So I don't know what the accountant can do in this case. There are laws they try to implement, but those who are administering this process, they are the one compromising it. To what extent, like my brother said, to what extent can the accountant go in those cases? Thank you. I don't know if I'm clear. Yes, under this system that is being managed by the politicians, those the government, those that make it the laws.
Thank you. So number two.
Thank you, Prof, for the thought-provoking lecture you gave to us. In the course of the lecture, and I know, even the day-to-day news line and the rest of it, the government will come out and say inflation rate is going down. Maybe by last month, I think around 40% thereabouts. The question is, if you look at individual of us who patronizes markets, are we actually saying that inflation is really going down or being managed by government to present the economy as being booming? That's my question.
Thank you, ma. I want to go also by the already established protocol, and I want to say a big thank you. My question is on sustainability accounting, and it's also related to what my August has been saying. In maintaining a sustainability accounting, the new dimension is looking into ESG. How would a SMEs be able to follow that sustainability accounting in the concept of ESG, considering the requirements, cost, and the aftermath benefits? Thank you.
Let's allow Prof to take those three. Is anyone from his side? Question? No. Question? Okay, let's allow. Okay, there's one. Okay, let's allow Prof to handle this.
Thank you very much. Actually, I asked our chairman to speak earlier because of his vast experience in audits, and I felt that that would go a long way. And I'm glad that even Mr. Elder Marcos has also contributed something. I believe we are better off for it. It's good to hear from them firsthand to see that it's actually possible to decline some jobs. Anything that's going to stain you or malign you, is better you move away. I remember some years ago, there was something in our church at that time, and I was discussing with someone. So she then said that, but people, you don't have to take any job that they are going to ask you that a portion of it, that look, if your bill is 1 million, make it 1.5, because the 500 on top is coming to us. That you don't, must you take the job? It looks juicy, it's nice, but it's going to lead to some compromise. And it's interesting to hear that, I mean, Baker Tilly, they even rejected a job that already certain deposits has been made. So that's why I actually wanted them to make that. And I think they are very much in order. But the young shall grow. Let me give you the example of someone. This person, they are in the book industry, and I think there was a government advert out that people should bid for, I think, to supply books for maybe primary schools or secondary schools, and they bidded for it, and they quoted a good, I mean, amount, a reasonable amount, because they knew they will import certain books, and the ones that they were producing locally, the two would give them something. And somebody else, some other companies quoted something far lower, and the work was given to those other people, because normally once the bid is open, it's given to the lowest the lowest bidder. They gave them the job. They couldn't do it because already they had undercut, what they were. So at the end of the day, they came back to those other people. So it's encouraging hearing testimonies like that for me, I think is encouraging to know that sometimes when you are a lone ranger, you want to do things the proper way. In the short run, it may look out like you are losing out, but in the long run, it will work out. People want they want confidence. They want people they can trust, really. Even those ones who were telling you to sign, some, not to give them a qualified, there'll be somebody amongst them that will feel that these people are good, we should work with them. They will not be people who will compromise in the future. The question is, to what extent can accountants, okay, our chairman said that when you are in such a corrupt system, you know, we talked about whistleblowing some time ago. Unfortunately, Prince has left. I know he was championing that issue of whistleblower. You know, if more and more of us desire to do what is right, then there won't be other people that they will turn to, because also that nobody is going to compromise. I don't know whether that makes sense. So if more and more of us decide that let's do things the proper way, let's insist on that, then over time, it may not be so in the short run. I was reading something recently, I can't put my finger on where exactly it was, but I think Elder Marcos mentioned it, where some auditors, some accountants were fined. One was given, was it 500 million that they were to pay because the company that they certified actually went down, and they were asked to pay. I had to look at the figures again. 500 million was the fine that was given to that auditing firm. Then another one, the auditor, the accountant himself was sanctioned, I think for maybe 3 months, another one for 6 years. I can't remember the particular place. I would have wanted to know to quote it so that you can remember. But I saw it just in recent times, telling you that Nigeria will get there too. In the short run, at least things are improving. Maybe they are better than where we were previously. Mr. Oyedele, when he was talking, Professor Oyedele now, when he was talking some time ago, I attended an online meeting. You know, this sensitizing the public has been on for quite a while, not just last year, I think since upper year. And on the call, I think I did ask him that, sir, when all these things come into place and more revenue comes into the pockets of government, how will we ensure that that additional revenue will be to our advantage? He told, I didn't even know that, I mean, to the glory of God, today he's where he is, that he will get to that position. He said that as a young accountant, it had been his dream, his passion, that one day things would actually, and you can go somewhere and do something and you will get it maybe later in the day or tomorrow morning. But he wasn't willing to do that. He went online and was feeling the thing small, small, small. Ultimately, he got it all, but it took quite a while. So as time goes on, sir, maybe all these things, as more and more people, God is placing us in good places that are strategic, things will change. So we should all buy into that future, that things would improve, things will change. Then the next question, inflation is going down at the market. I think I actually mentioned it while talking, that one report says that the macroeconomic indicators actually is showing that Nigeria were improving. 2023, 2024, they were all going down. But from 2025, things have actually started improving. In our pockets, maybe we're not feeling it 100%, but it's not as bad as it used to be. Because I think 2024, was it cement or something, that the price just kept increasing. So nobody, even to quote, they give you a job, you can't put a particular figure. They will tell you it's as at today. We wanted to buy a computer in one of our big stores here in Ibadan, and the person put right clearly on top as at so and so day, so that tomorrow you will not come and say that you told us the computer it has changed, that things are still changing. But like I said, I believe that there's a bit more stability now as opposed to the earlier years of 2023 or 2024. It's not perfect, but there's some improvement. Sustainability accounting is looking into ESG. How can small companies, how can they cope with the cost? I think it was part of the challenge that I actually gave the chairman and the incoming executives, that they should look into how SMEs can be helped. I know that the Society for Women in Taxation in Oyo State, we did some sensitization, I think sometime last year, or was it early this year? We were
A number of
on Thursday,
On Sunday,
on Sunday.
that was attended
and number one.
over 700 people. Online on sustainability. Lagelu had a technical session on Sunday virtually that was attended by over 700 people.
To do their business better. It's true, those costs are there, but that is the way to go, really. And we should encourage them in that direction. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Prof. We really appreciate you for this wonderful delivery. Thank you so much. At this juncture, I'd like to invite our chairman, the man of the week, as we asked. So, and the celebration is on. Yes. So the main event is, in fact, today is actually a main event for me because I've grabbed a lot. I've really got. Please give Prof a big round of applause. She deserves a lot. I'd like to invite our own chairman, Elder Patterson, to please appreciate her and to give the vote of thanks.
Thank you very much. Our patron, Eda Marcus Kayode Akobi. Our host, Dr. You don't know him, a gentleman indeed, Reverend Dr. Taiwo Olubukola Olatunde FCA. Accounting has gone beyond debit and credit. Audit has gone beyond ticking and vouching. You have to upgrade, upskill, AI compliance, technological compliance, and everything to do your work in order to be relevant. We are talking about sustainability and accounting. That is the thing. Now, if you know how much those who are competent in that area are charging, I'm sure people like Mr. Moses Ogudele, when they hear that figure, they may close shop one day. I pray you will get there, sir. So, want to appreciate everyone for taking out time to attend this lecture. The HOD of Accounting Department, University of Ibadan, I don't know whether he's here. I just talked to him day before yesterday night, and gladly he sent some students here. The same thing with the HOD of the Accountancy Department, the Polytechnic Ibadan. We appreciate you. Of course, my own constituency, they are ably represented here by partners, by managers, by all the staff. We appreciate you. I pray that on behalf of Bekatili, we will keep the flag flying. I pray that I will not let you down. Dr. Shekinat, don't run away. I saw you. So that you will not say, I cannot recognize you again. I know you now. You are welcome. Indeed, everyone who have taken the time out of their busy time to attend this lecture, we appreciate you. The essence of this lecture, like Priest Dr. Ebado Oyedepo JP said, and our own prof. You see, during the investiture proper on Saturday, that is when this lecture will have taken place. But you discover that when we are doing investiture, people pay attention to the social activity part and they hardly concentrate the way we have concentrated to hear what our dear prof just discharged out. And it has been wonderful. It is one of its first kind in the history of ICAN done by any district. Lagelu and District Society, they are always the first in everything, leading others. So we are proud. And on this note, I want to also invite all of you to other coming up programs in the course of this investiture. Tomorrow we'll be having a courtesy visit to the NYC at the Secretariat at Agodi. We are expected to gather by 10:30 latest at the car park in front of that place. You are all invited. The more, the merrier. The larger the number, the better for us to have a say there. Want to go there and showcase the ICAN brand in us. Please join us. And if you are coming, if you have the t-shirt, you can put it on. If you don't have, like me, you can also dress in any form. The ICAN in you will speak the difference. So please join us tomorrow. On Friday, there is going to be a Juma service. It's not meant for the Muslims alone. If you want to join them, join us. The location, that is the mosque we have written to the Oyo State Mosque at the Secretariat for approval on Friday for a Thanksgiving. If not for God, we won't be where we are today. So please join our Muslim brothers and sisters on Friday for the Juma service. And to God be the glory, on Saturday is going to be the grand finale. And that is the investiture proper. It is expected to commence 11 sharp. You know, in ICAN, our prof said accuracy and integrity. No Africa time in ICAN. Please avail yourself so that you can take a very comfortable space that day. I can assure you, if you come late too, you may not have space. Because we discover late now that those who are willing to come may exceed that capacity. We are visiting 650 capacity. But the people that are showing interest, people that are coming with buses from outside of your state are many. So please make sure you come. You know, as the chairman, the person they are going to investigate, whether you like or not, I will get space. So I must be seated. Otherwise, there will be nobody to invest. So please come early, take your space. And by the grace of God, there's going to be a lot of fun, a lot of activities, a lot of interaction. As we are here, looking at this gathering, I see men and women who are in positions who can help you to drive your destiny, who can help you to project your business, who can help you to showcase yourself to the world. But are you interacting? One of the purposes of that investigation is for you to interact. Business moguls are coming. Owners of business are coming. People who are driving the private sectors are coming. Who are driving the government sectors are here. So please, come that day, release yourself, build relationship, exchange cards, exchange contacts for your business, for your consultants. So please, on Sunday, come, let's dine and wine together. On Saturday, sorry, dine and wine together. The military, we have hired, we pay for 2 sets of military bands that are there's going to be a ceremonial aspect, there's going to be musical aspect to be handled by the Nigeria Army. So please come and enjoy yourself. And on Sunday, to God be the glory, we are going to return all the glory to the Almighty God for the success of the activities that commenced last Saturday with the press conference. And the venue is the New Covenant Church, Onireke, Ibadan. You are all welcome. Come well dressed and come with money in your pocket to appreciate God for the good work He has done for us. We pray that on Saturday, God will give us fair weather in this rainy season. And by the grace of God, those who are coming will come safely and they will return safely. There will be no evil report. And all of us here that day, by the grace of God, none of us will be missing. Thank you all, and we appreciate Almighty God. Thank you.
You can do more for the chairman, no? Thank you, sir. Yeah. So we're wrapping up with the anthems. Immediately after the anthems, we're going to take group pictures, so you don't have to rush out. The anthem, the group pictures, then afterwards we will network. Just like the chairman has said, make sure you connect with somebody. For the students, there are people here who can mentor you to greatness. So let's have the media team give us the anthems as we wrap up the show. Thank you all for coming. Let's rise up for the anthems.
Standing tall as one, with unity and strength, our journey has begun. Integrity, accuracy, guiding us each day. With ICAN cover, we lead our way. We lift each other up and we drive in Lagelu and the street. Every voice is heard. Together we stand upon this drum. With ICAN cover, we lead our way. We are Lagelu and the street, standing tall as one. With unity and strength, our journey has begun. Integrity, accuracy, guiding us each day. With ICAN cover, we lead our way. Never dreaming, Lagelu and the street, guiding us forward. Believing the power of collaboration of every member, our bonds shine through. We are Lagelu and the street, standing tall as one. With unity and strength, our journey has begun. Integrity, accuracy, guiding us each day. With ICAN cover, we lead our way.
In district society, we unite, we collaborate, and we try.
Thank you, everyone. So let's take our group photo. Yeah, exactly. Yes, sir. So we're using here so that we can. So remember, we'll take it after the order. Just please hang on. Oh yeah, yeah. Prof. Prof. No, don't worry, Prof. We'll remove the table. Don't worry.